Everybody on the Mustang Club of America page, you're looking at Bleu Loope. Is it Loope?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the first name is spelled B-L-E-U.
Yeah, like blue cheese.
Last name is L-O-O-P-E. Is that right? Okay. Loope. Bleu is a 16-year-old who's out here at the Mustang Club of America event, the 45th anniversary, and you're driving in your very first track event, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. You own your very own Mustang as well.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And this all started, if I'm not mistaken, with your grandpa Bill over here. Yeah? And Bill, how'd you get into this originally?
We were involved, back in the 60s after high school, got involved in dirt track racing. And then recently we used to own Smoky Mountain Speedway, which was an old NASCAR track, which dirt. And then that's where Dad got involved, I guess, first time down at our track and everything. And of course, Bluebird has just been a behind the wheel interest from day one.
From day one.
So she's always had an interest in it.
So, but the passion started with you, right? And then it was handed off to Blue at a young age, at about 5 or so.
Yeah.
And then Ben, you're the dad here.
Yeah.
But you had the passion from the time you were young too.
Oh yeah.
And then, so now, did you start in dirt track? Is that where you started?
That's pretty much the first real, kind of racing kind of stuff I did with cars.
And by the way, I'm just going to deviate for a second here, but this car behind us is Brian Carrick's going out, and he's carrying my grandson's best friend in his very first actual race car ride along. So they'll be out on track here in just a second. So I'm sorry, I just panned over there, and I'll even get my grandson standing out there in that burgundy. So sorry guys, this is all family oriented stuff, as you know. So you grew up in this, and you decided to pass this on to your daughter. And what was the idea behind that passion?
Well, I think part of it was because it's something I enjoy, a bunch too. But also part of it was just trying to find something she was interested in. And we went through a lot. She tried cheerleading, t-ball, basketball, soccer. Nothing. She wasn't interested in anything else. And when she was, I think for her 4th birthday or 5th birthday, I got her a little Mustang Power Wheel, and went out and got some little small cones, set them up in the driveway, and set up a little autocross for her. And she'd run around, and that little Power Wheel's running out autocross to figure out, which cones to go around as they're laid down and stuff like that. And we just kept kind of feeding that, and if it was something she was interested in, everything that was car-wise, she was into.
So none of the sports,
No.
not interested in any of them,
No.
but the cars got you.
Yeah.
And again, this started with Bill over here. Started with Grandpa, went to Dad, and now it's on to you. And by the way, we've got people watching from Australia and Switzerland.
Wow, that's crazy.
That's neat.
Yeah, everybody's saying, good luck and saying hello. So,
Thank you.
awesome.
yeah. So, as you've grown up in this, and you moved on, what did you say, about 8 years of age, you got into something else there?
Well, you're talking about where she started saying she's going to save for a car?
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
So, about 5, she mentioned, I want to start saving money for my own car. And I told her, I said, well, if you'll save whatever you can between now and, when you're 16, then I'll match whatever you save. And actually, the grandparents got involved in it too. And so whatever she saved, we would match and, let her get what she got. And I said, and of course, 5-year-old telling you they're going to start saving money. And she got to about 8, and I turned to my wife and I said, we're going to start saving money because she's really doing this. So sure enough, she saved, and she got enough put together to get that 2018 Mustang.
All right. Well, and we'll see pictures of that in the Mustang Times. So for people that are following here, if they get the Mustang Times, they'll be able to see you and the car featured in there. By the way, we've got people from Baghdad, from Belgium, from Argentina. Everybody's saying have a great day and really cheering you on here, Blue. So as you grew up in this sport, what was it that really latched on to you? What was it you liked?
Oh man, I just really enjoyed kind of the freedom of it, being able to feel like I'm in control of something. I really got hooked the first time I went to an autocross event.
Yeah.
That was when I was really like, okay, we need to get wheels and tires. We need to start doing things to my car so I can go do some more things with this car. Because, man, when was that? About?
I think it was July of 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah. Learner's permit.
Got your learner's permit at the age of 15.
Yes.
Yeah.
As soon as possible.
So most kids your age, including myself, we grew up street racing.
Yeah.
All right. It took a couple accidents actually, for me to decide to go to the track.
Yeah.
And you've grown up learning to do that differently. You've learned up knowing there's a different way to do it.
Yeah.
So what's your outlook? What's your opinion on street racing?
Oh,
You've got the car for it.
no, I wouldn't ever do that. Kind of learned from, I guess I'd call it your mistake.
Yeah, I got a few.
So do I.
Yeah. He got into a pretty bad motorcycle accident. Just doing some funky stuff on a motorcycle. Ended up really getting hurt. Hospital bed for I don't know how long. But
This is while you were around, or no?
it was well
After you were born.
No, all that right before
Yeah.
she was born, that kind of actually spurred me along to get more in the family life, you know.
Yeah.
So he's always reminded me and told me about things that he's done. He knows better than I do about safety and stuff like that, and so I don't want to end up in a place where I'm hurting myself. So definitely the best thing to do, in my opinion, is be safe on the roads and then have fun on a track.
But that's the point, right? Coming out here,
Yeah.
I mean, and they're teaching you not to upset the balance of the car.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're teaching you when to accelerate, when to brake,
Yep.
how to take those corners. But in the end, that teaches you to be a much better driver on the street, does it not?
Right. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and those are all things that you can drive with much more confidence. You made a remark outside when Donald Farr was doing the magazine interview with you, that you're never out of control with your car. You've always got control of your car.
Yeah.
And that really caught my ear. I mean,
Yeah.
but it's the skill. You've got skill to drive a car now that most kids don't have.
Right.
So, and I'm sorry, I'm calling you a kid, and I know you don't think you are, but
No, it's fine.
but you are. So this is your first event because, Ben, this was the first event that you could find that would let a 16-year-old in, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
That was a bit of a search for me. I started looking, and a few of them require 18 and up, and then there's just a couple that say, hey, 16 and up with, of course, parental admission, or we're going to say. But so yeah, I found that, and then looked out that it was the 40, because we've always loved Mustangs, and I was like, oh gosh, it's the 45th anniversary, and it's great. This turned out perfect. And Road Atlanta, which I've always wanted to do. Road Atlanta.
It's a great track, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's so awesome.
Yeah, it's very well maintained too.
Yeah, exactly.
So, do you envision yourself now doing additional MCA events?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm going to be going to as many events as possible.
Yeah. How's everybody treated you? Did everybody make you feel welcome while you were here?
Definitely. I feel so welcome. Everyone here is just so nice, especially in the climate today. I'm very happy with the welcome that I got here, and just the nice community that I feel safe in.
Now, that's a key word there too, feeling safe in it. We've got a gal who's in her early 20s in Houston that just started her own car club called the Lady Chaos Crew.
Oh, that's cool.
But she did it because they wanted a place where the girls and the women could go to feel safe, and actually not at cruise-ins, where they would kind of feel threatened by guys that knew more than them and didn't think they knew anything about cars. But you work on your own car, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, so what's your knowledge level there? I mean, it's got to be pretty incredible to know when you're around a bunch of guys that you know they don't know what they're talking about.
Well, I don't have extreme knowledge about all the parts of my car or anything like that. I do know how to change the brakes and the rotors and stuff like that. I know how to change the tires and stuff. That's about it, but yeah.
Yeah, but that's more than a lot of people know. Some people don't know how to change the tires. So,
Yeah.
so where do you see yourself going from here with this hobby?
Man, I'd like to just continue going on the tracks, having a lot of fun, really being able to advance in my experience and my skill to be able to feel more comfortable going faster and making maneuvers that I wouldn't normally make as my first time. to just have fun, I guess.
You had an instructor with you?
I did, yeah.
How did the instructor do with you? I mean, what kind of tips were you picking up there?
Most tips were stuff that I'd heard. Keep the lines as straight as possible. Try and figure out the apexes to make your lines as smooth as possible so you can still gather up enough speed and still have fun and get around the track safely. A few tricks that I've learned, I mean, I was a little bit keeping back because I wasn't sure.
You weren't confident.
Yeah. So he told me places that I can accelerate, places that maybe I need to brake earlier, things like that. So overall, really helped. And now I've moved up a class. So.
Yeah, there you go. So did your time improve yesterday?
Yes, it definitely did.
How much did it improve? You remember?
Man, I don't know. I do know my top speed started out yesterday. I think it was, well, it took me a few laps to get to 100. And then yesterday, my top speed by the end of the day was 115, and I finally got it up to 120 this morning on my first lap.
On your first lap out, 120. All right, so definite huge improvement
Yeah.
there. So, all right, well, we're going to end this thing. I noticed that we had people from Brazil and Argentina and Italy, and just I couldn't read them all as they were popping in here. But do you have anything to say to anybody out there that?
Oh man.
About the experience itself?
It's just really fun. Go as often as possible. This wasn't an experience that I thought I'd really ever get to do a bunch. Or, I mean, I'm even more hooked after this
Yeah.
the first time. So, yeah, just have fun, but be safe. No street racing, please.
There you go. All right. Well, thank you guys for taking the time. We appreciate it. All three of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
For having a family thing with this. I mean, it turned into a vision that became a family affair, basically. So thank you. And for all the folks out there with MCA that are watching, we can't thank you enough for spending time with us.